welcome to Exploring Southern Oregon's Roads. We're in Shady Cove today. I'm going to be heading out to, well, probably Crater Lake. This is going to be more of a light drive, more relaxing. Before I get out of Shady Cove, I have a few quick channel updates. This was actually intended to be my dress rehearsal run, drive, recording for adding a GPS map overlay on the bottom corner of the actual drive video, but I've determined that that's not going to happen today. The reason for that is that the audio that I use is recorded on my cell phone, and brain just locks up on me here. So the cell phone's what I use to record the audio, and it would also be what I would use to record the map. And while I can record both real-time tracking map and audio, it unfortunately desyncs the audio every 15 minutes, and I don't think people want to have me randomly clapping every 15 minutes during the videos to resync, and resyncing other than that is almost impossible. I mean, I don't have 10 hours to do the editing, so, well, I mean, I guess I do, I just don't want to spend that much time on it. So I'm going to be ordering a hopefully higher quality standalone audio recorder, as well as a lav mic, so the rattles and the sound the springs make in my phone mount will no longer be part of the videos. Instead, my voice should be much more clear, and if I can ever get a new graphics card, I might be able to even use software called RTX Voice, so when I'm speaking, all the background noise, the gear noise, the rattles will all be filtered out. That's not set in stone yet. So I will hopefully be getting the audio recorder before my next video is recorded. I currently have a video uploading at home right now. It's probably done being processed on YouTube. I will review that video, and hopefully it will be up before this one, but who knows with me. So about today's drive, I am leaving Shady Cove, and I'm going to be going up to Crater Lake. I'll be driving down Highway 140. Yes, 140. Right now, I'm on Highway 62. Also, this drive is less intense, no off-road, because after the last video I recorded, unfortunately, I blew up an axle. Luckily, it was replaced under warranty. It was a almost brand new to me axle, but I don't really want to have to borrow the Toyota for another week, so I'm staying on the pavement, and I'm not gonna drive it hard. Beyond that, I guess I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think I'm gonna split this one. It'll be a little too long if I do it up and back, so maybe I'll get lazy again in post, and I'll just have an intro in the middle of the video again. You never know with me. In other news, I've decided that I'm going to start doing lectures during my videos. So today we're going to do a lecture on Raid 5. No, we're not. I want people to actually watch and enjoy these videos. So I will spare you all. I also was a bit self-roasty in post on my last video. If you enjoy that kind of thing and you want me to continue doing that, leave me a comment. If you want me to just shut up and drive, and you enjoy the gear noise and the turbo sounds and the squealy brakes and the rattles, and also let me know. One thing I won't stop doing though is little bits of history here and there. So Mount Mazama, aka Crater Lake, in a previous video I said it was like 20-something thousand feet. It actually was 12,000 feet. So it blew the top and it went from 12,000 feet to 8,000 feet at the peak. It's winter time. The park is open. However, only the, I think it's called the West Village area is accessible. There's a road that goes all the way around the caldera, and that is closed. They do not plow that. That will be a summertime or late springtime video if I'm still here. I really wanted to get that done last summer, but well, we unfortunately had a very bad summer here. There was a lot of smoke, a lot of people lost their homes, and unfortunately I ended up having to put in extra hours at work, which I was actually quite happy to do. But I did a lot of assistance in moving people from evacuation shelters back home, so that was good, but it made it so that I didn't really have time or energy on the weekends to make videos. I have some other plans for upgrading my editing. I'm not really going to bore anyone with the details on that. For right now, though, I'm pretty happy with my editing setup. I ran an edit last night. The render was fast. The hardest, longest part of it was the transcode. Going from my output file from Resolve to something that YouTube will accept that doesn't turn my internet into a sobbing mess for 12 hours plus. It takes up a lot of time on my Vault machine, which isn't really a Vault yet because it doesn't have its equipment yet. Regardless, as I have component availability and money, I will start doing that upgrade. I've also decided that I probably should get a 4K monitor for editing. That's kind of it for my behind the scenes updates stuff. As far as the Subaru goes, it's driving okay. I'm happy to have it back. I had a whole week without it, so grateful to be able to borrow the Toyota when I need it too. Thank you. Drive today. Getting stuck behind someone in the camper van or pulling an RV on this road can be frustrating. I wish I'd left those candies at home. They're rattling back and forth in the box. coming up on Lost Creek Lake. Right now we're actually passing over the output side of it. There's a man-made reservoir dam. This is the Rogue River we're crossing over. The Rogue River is dammed up to make Lost Creek Lake. Forgot to turn my cruise control back on there. So Lost Creek Lake is on the left. It's not visible through the dirt and trees, unfortunately. We'll be passing over the inlet side of the lake as we come down on the other side here, go back up into the hills. Day use area, camping area, and a boat launch accessible right off of Highway 62. We'll be going by them one after the other on the left. There's also other boat launches and some residential access on the other side of the lake. The inlet side, and then on the outlet side on the other side of the lake there's I think a third boat launch. You can swim in it in the summertime. I mean, you can swim in it year round if you're really crazy and you don't mind really cold water in the winter, but the water is reasonably clean, and the speed limit on the lake is, I think it's 10 miles an hour. There's a lot of houseboats, and this isn't California. You can't come up here and go jet skiing, I don't think. I don't own a boat, so I'm not very familiar with the rules and regulations for Lost Creek Lake as far as boating is concerned. Summit of Highway 62 along Lost Creek Lake. There used to be a marker sign with an elevation, but it got run over. After we get past Lost Creek Lake, we will pass Prospect and Trail. They'll be on the right. I've actually never been there. Just driven past them. There will be a ranger station on the left past that, and then we're into the National Forest. The next milestone after that is Union Creek. I've done a couple of videos there. I enjoy Union Creek. It's a great place to go hiking in the summer, spring, and fall, or autumn for anyone in the EU watching this. And it's a great place to go snowshoeing in the wintertime, if they actually have snow. Then they can have a lot of snow there. Past Union Creek, we will go turn off on, I believe it's Highway 140, and we will go up into the mountains towards Crater Lake National Park. Got a huge group of speeders stuck behind me now. I have a commercial driver's license, so if I get a ticket, it's double what non-commercial driver's license holders would get. So I don't want to risk my job and speed just because someone else is in a hurry. There's going to be a passing lane come up, and then these people go flying past. And then I'll get stuck behind them because they're going to go really slow on the twisty sections, and I don't usually slow down much for it. So Highway 62, if you continue out, we'll go to Diamond Lake, and then the highway ends at a T, and I believe that's Highway 238. I'll have to add it in post what the actual highway is out there. That might be, been a while since I've been out there. That highway that this tees into, if you turn right, it'll take you to Highway 97. I am sure about that one. And Highway 97 runs north-south through the center of Oregon from the California border to the Washington state border. And that highway, if you go north on it, will take you to Bend, Oregon, which is quite pretty and has some of the best skiing at Mount Bachelor in the state. Disclaimer, I never ever got the chance to ski at Mount Hood, so if your opinion is that Mount Hood is better than Mount Bachelor, apologies. No experience at Hood, so I can't tell you. Yep, here goes speeder number 1. I'm going 60 in a 55 zone. Here goes speeder number 2. I mean, that's like a $400, $500 ticket. Why would you risk it, you know? That actually might even be considered street racing the way he's going. Road, the passing lane ends pretty soon, so the 3 more people behind me now are gonna get stuck. Oh, 4 are gonna get stuck behind me again. I don't really care. They can go around me if it's safe. SUV was flying on the straight section, and now he's slowing down a whole bunch. I mean, it's just stupid. I'm talking about the Chevy there. Truck is gonna have to floor it here because he's running out of passing lane. Yep, 466 Lima X-Ray Juliet. I'm gonna have to call him in the sheriff because that was ridiculous. He passed me after the passing lane ended. There's one more stuck behind me, but I think he's gonna chill out back there. Also, just kind of a note, if you want to drive Highway 62, you're gonna have to put up with a lot of bad drivers. This seems to be one of the worst roads in Southern Oregon when it comes to people driving in a reasonable way. I am personally of the opinion that the state needs to just allow jurisdictions to put up speed cameras. That dude in that pickup truck got, you know, a $20 ticket every time he passed the speed camera. He'd probably stop speeding eventually. The worst part of this is that people tend to make passes when it's not safe to do so. That's actually not terrible. He had plenty of room, no one oncoming for a long ways. This next car behind me, who knows? I've been coming along on this road and had someone pull out from behind a RV and try passing when I was oncoming. If you pull out to pass without looking to make sure it's safe, I refer to that as a suicide pass. Don't do it. Another problem that Highway 62 will have is that it gets very icy at times. This is fairly high elevation here, and it will snow and stick on the road, and they do not necessarily have the equipment or manpower to keep it clear. They do make an effort, but sometimes it just is impossible. And you'll have someone out that comes out here in a Ford Mustang with summer tires and spins out and gets stuck. And then that's people don't go slow on this road, so having someone blocking a lane, the pickup truck, to pull a car out of the ditch that quite honestly doesn't belong in that kind of condition to begin with is a recipe for disaster. And then you put them on a blunt. Yeah, I've had some issues up here before. So there's a kind of pipeline almost that goes underneath the highway right up ahead where that pickup truck's cresting the hill there, I believe. Might be a little further up. But there's a overflow or a divert for a stream, I believe, and they, instead of letting it run down the hillside, they run it through a pipe. Not sure where it comes from or it goes to, but yeah, this is it right here. Used to be that oh, it's for the fish. There's a fish hatchery up there. Used to be there were little holes in the pipe, and it would shoot water out. Sometimes 30, 40 feet. It's under a lot of pressure. I think they replaced those the pipe for that a couple of years ago, because it doesn't seem like it leaks as bad anymore. Actually, I kind of recall seeing that the state ran out of money for the fish hatcheries, so I think they shut them all down. I believe there was a company that was looking at buying the properties to use for something else. And also on that note, I mentioned Diamond Lake. I don't know if they still fish stock in Diamond Lake. They do not stock Crater Lake. There's no reason to. I think there are fish that live there naturally, but there are very few of them. That water is cold year-round. I mentioned Prospect and Trail, and the turnoff for both is coming up after this green sign here that says Prospect right 1/4 mile. And once we get around this left curve in the road up ahead, we'll see the Forest Ranger Station, Forest Service Ranger Station, and then we'll be in the forest. River Siskiyou National Forest, United States Department of Agriculture. High Cascades Ranger District. Sign covered in plastic. When I say we enter the forest, I mean we really do enter the forest. All along the road, all along Highway 62, going up for the next couple of miles, there will be roads going off the sides into the forest, and those are a mix of campgrounds, off-highway vehicle use areas, and trails that are for road vehicles. I have explored several of them. I have plans to explore more of them. In fact, I may do a video where I drive up here and do screen record on my phone and show potentially planned out drive and then what actually happens when I try it on a road I've literally never been on before. This point right here is typically where you start to see snow on the sides of the road at about an inch, and then you go about another mile and it'll turn into a foot. So this is kind of the beginning of the snow zone in this wintertime. It has been quite warm up here though, so there was snow up here before. It is all melted. It's actually pretty warm outside today. Showing 45 degrees. Crater Lake National Park, the lodge, it can be very cold up there in the wintertime. I brought my not noisy warm jacket that's not waterproof and definitely not windproof, and I also brought a rain jacket that is definitely waterproof and windproof but not very warm, and combined they make me comfortable in almost any conditions. There's a lot of wildlife up here, but it doesn't usually come out into the roads. I have actually seen cougars and deer and foxes along this road, and typically only late at night. So Highway 62, when you turn off to go to Crater Lake, today we're going to be going towards the southern end of the park, and that is easier and more accessible. The services at that end of the park are more built up, and they've been around for a while. The other end of the park has a lodge and a cafeteria and such, but it's smaller and it's not the main side of the park. And it's also not accessible right now because they don't have that entrance. The north entrance is closed. That was Ginkgo Road I just went past. I have a video on that. Southern half of the park has the main lodge. There's a cafeteria. There's actually a hotel. I don't know if it's open in the wintertime. It's all quite old. They have some kind of neat little... They have restrooms in the end of the parking lot. make them accessible, they actually build tunnels. And then if you need to use the restroom, you go in a door and you go through a temporary tunnel, and then you wind up in the restroom. And you go through outside of the little tunnel is snow, so you literally are going under the snow to get to the restroom. And they found that that was easier to do than to try and clear the footpath, because it's back a little bit from the actual parking lot. Most of the facilities there, most of the buildings are old style log cabins or log buildings, very heavy timber structures. Be taking a quick detour on Union Creek, or before Union Creek. I want to highlight my favorite hiking / snowshoeing area. Hey, that jerk that almost forced me off the road's right up ahead. I got stuck behind a camper van or something going slow. I mean, I find that to be ironic. You're willing to do something literally illegal while driving that you could get ticketed for, and the purpose of that is to drive faster, and yet it doesn't really matter in the end. To modifying vehicles and whatnot, but man, that guy made that truck super distinctive. I could recognize it from a mile back. If you're gonna drive like a jerk, then don't have a distinctive vehicle. Temperatures drop down to 40. At night, this gets down into the negatives pretty frequently during the wintertime. That's a sheriff up there. I'm gonna flag him down. Nope, it's someone with an RV. That's a road on the left there, goes to a campground. I think people may be using that for snowshoeing. about to enter Union Creek. Union Creek is incredibly small. There's a gift shop, an ice cream place, and a diner called Becky's. Trailheads, and there used to be a ranger station, but it's gone. It burned. I think it burned down, and they moved it essentially. But this is my spot where I go hiking or where I go snowshoeing, and it's a actual trail. There's several actually. Union Creek is as the name suggests, a creek, and it goes down to the Rogue River. The trail runs parallel down both sides of Union Creek, and then it branches, and you can go up or down the Rogue River on the trail. And there are several bridges across Union Creek, so you can cross back and forth. So yeah, the trail is kind of hard to see because of snow, but you can see the footprints where people have gone hiking or whatever. It is on the kind of the right, and then it goes across a bridge, or it goes left, and then it's kind of hard to see when it's got snow on it like this. Heck, when it doesn't have snow on it, it can actually be kind of hard to find the initial point of it there. There's also a campground kind of back there. The trail on this side of the creek goes down kind of next to the campground. Some of the trail kind of eroded away due to the creek, and you divert through the campground. So yeah, this is Becky's on the left here. The speed limit is 45, but anyone going over about 30, 35 is potentially asking for a lot of trouble. It's actually way more busy than I was expecting. And that was Union Creek. Shoot, I forgot to eat the last of that candy. Keep it from around, whatever. The real reason I pulled over there was I forgot to plug my camera into the external battery. So, I don't want to do that kind of thing while driving. Hashtag, distracted driving is bad, okay? Oh yeah, and there's a snow park on the right. This is probably some of the nastiest snow for a snow park, but holy cow, that's busy. Ha! It's the jerk that nearly ran me off the road. Oh, that's funny. Had your kids in your car when you did that? Nice job. Alright, so here is the junction for, so Highway 62 turns, and it turns into Highway 230 here to go to Critter Lake. Gotcha. So this is one of my, I have too many of them. This is a nice road to drive, but, it's kind of a mess today. I believe that's a snowplow up ahead, yellow blinking light. We'll see. I'll catch up to it pretty soon here. 230 to where it starts there until it ends is a very pretty, very remote drive. I may end up doing that fairly soon. He's gonna let me go by. Slow down for him there. Give him a wave. I've actually helped out snowplow driver before. They didn't even know it. Came up here one night many years ago when it was snowing heavily, and I went up to the turnoff for the park, and I turned around and was coming home. It was probably about 1 a.m. and a small tree came down across the road, and it was safe to do so, so I actually just stopped right in the lane, hopped out, grabbed the tree, and by hand moved it out of the road because it was really small. And that helped out because the snowplow guy didn't have to stop and do that himself then. Above freezing still. It's 39 degrees. Shoot, I forgot to put my anti-rattle sock back in place. Sorry if the image is kind of not good. I got some streaks on the windshield and my wipers aren't cleaning them off. Park up ahead. This one I believe is more intended for snowmobiles. This is gonna also be very busy, so I'm gonna slow down a little bit. This is a much, much larger parking lot here. Oh man, look at all those RVs. Even got a wood stove going. And there's a snowmobile trail on this right there. That's also a summertime driving trail. I believe is open to off-road or off-highway vehicles and highway vehicles. The speed limit on Highway 62 up here is 55. Once you enter the park, it drops down to 35, which will be very shortly now. Wipers. Alright, I've dropped a little bit of speed here. Could also have been that the freaking snow is already covering the speed signs. Nope, I see the speed sign ahead of. A little bit annoying coming down because they don't have an end speed zone sign or a 55 zone sign. It just stops having signs, so it's hard to tell when you can go back up to 55 coming down. I usually go 35 until I hit that snow park and then I let it go. Still above freezing. I'm actually surprised. It's pretty warm today. So there is a toll booth to enter the park, and during the summertime and the autumn, I believe it's posted. I'll read it off when I get up there. I'm not going to remember it correctly. They keep changing it anyways. But they do charge admission most of the time during the summer and autumn. And if we had a light winter during the later spring, once the whole park's open, usually they open the booth and they start charging. If you go up to the booth and there's no one in it, they're not charging admission to the park and you enter without having to pay. And that's what it's going to look like today. There's the doors will be boarded up. If not, I hope they take debit card, because that's all I got. I don't carry cash anymore. There, I believe, I'm not going to check my phone while driving, but I believe there's actually a cell tower now up at the lodge. So there is cell service. It's not very fast, especially when it's really busy. But it's also, oh, it's 45, not 35. Oh, it's 35 on the ring road, and it's 45. No, it used to be 35 down here. I don't know. I'll have to go back through some old videos that aren't published and check. Anyways, I'm assuming that today we will not have an entry fee. I'm just going to go up to the lodge and probably turn around there. I'm going to brake check here. No one behind me. Okay, I got reasonable brakes for about 30. So there shouldn't be an entry fee today. Nothing's. See how much snow is on the left sides of the road there? That's how deep the snow is going to be, or deeper, in the park itself. And that's going to be covering the road that goes around the caldera, because they don't plow it unless they absolutely have to. They don't plow it. So, wow, that guy's got no traction. Spinning his tires. I do have my snow tires on, so I am absolutely perfectly fine up here. Family making snow people. And I would suggest anyone that is coming up here, if you want to take a souvenir home, you might want to check state laws regarding state parks, or national parks as this is. You're not allowed to remove anything from a national park unless you purchased it at the gift shop or legally from the whoever's licensed to sell stuff. So if you see a rock on the ground inside of the park and you want to take it home, you can't. I mean, you physically can, but you could get fined for it. Are you going to get fined for picking up a rock? Probably not. If you really want a rock as a souvenir, you can get one from outside the park boundary and be okay. Just tell your friends you got it in the park. And that's kind of a weird thing to say, but this used to be a volcano, and there's a lot of different volcanic rock up here. There are large flows of pumice. Pumice is a special type of volcanic rock that forms when there's a lot of gas in the lava, and once it's cooled off, pumice has a lot of gaps in it, air gaps. So pumice actually floats. It's less dense than water. Makes it kind of interesting, you know, want to take as a souvenir. Those pumice flows go all the way outside of the park boundaries, so if you want to take some pumice home, get some outside of the park. Might even try and find on the Forest Service website where that law is and link it in the description of the video. Will I actually remember to do that? Probably not. Do I want to do it? I do. Whee! That was ice. There's that SUV following me. I'm going to slow down in case they pound off the side there. Nope. So right now, I've probably mentioned this before, but this is an example of it. Right now, the road has a fairly thin covering of hard-packed snow on top of it. The temperature is above freezing according to the temperature gauge on my vehicle. This is actually one of the most dangerous times to be driving without snow tires. Why? Because you're more likely to slide in this. I actually slid a little bit back. I went, whee! Ice itself is actually not very slippery. What makes it slippery is having a very thin layer of water between the surface of the ice and your tires, or the bottom of your shoes, or whatever, your toboggan. That's what makes it slippery. When you have hard-packed snow or ice and the temperature is above freezing, it makes it very easy to form that layer of moisture, liquid water, between the ice and your tires. Therefore, it makes it a lot easier to slide around. If you go up into Alaska and it's minus 80 degrees, sheet ice is not going to be quite as slippery. It's still going to be slippery, but it's not going to be as bad as if it was 38 degrees. believe that Highway 62 continues down towards Klamath Falls again, or down towards Klamath Falls, and the Crater Lake access road is coming up on the left pretty soon here. In the wintertime, the Crater Lake access road, I do not suggest driving unless you have all-wheel drive with snow tires, or if you're front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive with chains. It is, well, you'll see. Side of the road is almost as deep as my vehicle is tall. It's been a while since I've seen snow this deep. I must have been in warm sections, back up over freezing again. I love how they lift up the signs during the winter times so that you can still see them. Parking lot that had all the RVs in it can actually be a fun destination to go to if you have a high performance vehicle that can actually drive a little bit in the snow to get there. If you want to do cookies or donuts or burnouts or whatever. I don't necessarily condone or recommend that, but if you got to get it out of your system, if you go there and there's no one else there, then have a little fun. Definitely not today, though. There's probably 500 people in that parking lot. there's however many feet of snow currently on the ground here, why the heck are people coming up here? Especially if the lodge and everything, well, the lodge is open, but all the other services are going to be shut down. Well, it's simple. It's some of the best cross-country skiing and snowshoeing in the whole United States. You basically can ski or snowshoe anywhere in the park you really want to. There are places, obviously, you don't want to go skiing. If you go skiing down the caldera, that's a bad idea. There's also guided tours. They have not instructors, but guides that'll take you out on established routes or through known areas that they're familiar with, and they can take you and see some pretty stuff and get some nice exercise and without having the risk of making a left turn and going off the edge of the caldera. This can be a challenging and tricky place to snowshoe or ski just because of how much snow can actually be on the ground. And now we are coming up on the entry booth here. This is where I'm going to turn off Highway 62. It's technically a turn lane. Sure what the lodge is. I think it's an information center on the right. And oh, they're actually charging to get in today. Wonderful. Hopefully they take debit cards. I thought they didn't charge in the wintertime. I guess I'm paying to get in today. Oh, credit preferred. Okay. Makes that easy. Wonder when they stop charging to enter. I don't think that's a German Shepherd.
Good news and bad news first.
Good news.
Good news, we got a whole bunch of new snow.
Yes.
Bad news is there is no way to get up to the lake today. The road is closed 4 miles from here.
Oh,
no way to see.
Shoot. Well, I guess, do you know when it will be open?
Probably not within the next couple of days. There's another big snowstorm coming in. Check out our website in the morning. Before coming up, we do update that.
Okay. I guess I will head home then.
You can turn around here.
Thank you much. Good day.
You too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that would make sense why, I didn't hit the snowbank, but I almost did. And that was semi-intense. I mean, I don't care if I hit it in this thing. It's kind of soft. Anyways, that's unexpected. I've never actually encountered that before. I've never had this road be closed. So, I guess we're gonna have to, yeah, that's not fun. I really don't want to be stuck behind this Jeep anymore. Well, since that's a disappointment, I think I'm going to actually go... Okay, they're going nowhere. We're going to go the way they don't go, because I don't want to be stuck behind them. So, that's a disappointment. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. It's good though. There's another snowstorm coming. They need more snow. I did want to show off the lake with snow around the caldera. Yeah, we are going back the way that I came up. We're not going towards Klamath Falls. We're going back towards Union Creek. For those people that are either only half paying attention, directionally challenged, both, or something else entirely. The reason that there are so many people at the two snow parks is that today actually is the first day of 2021. I was editing video last night at midnight, so I saw that dog. Didn't want him to run out in front of me. 15, nice slow speed. Might be wondering how they get the sides of the road so smooth. They actually have snow blowers up here. It's a large, I think it's a 6x6 type, small semi-truck type thing. They have a giant rectangular scoop on the front with a bunch of blades in it. Blade spins, chops up the snow, and then it shoots it through a ejection slot into a chute, and then they eject it off the side of the road, which is actually why you see there's no bark on the face of the trees closest to the road. That the snow blowers, the snow coming out of them actually has enough force over time that it will blow the bark right off the trees. During the summertime, along Highway 230, there's a nice spot where you can pull off the side of the highway into a viewing area, and there's a Mount Mazama / Crater Lake overlook viewpoint. I might go there someday, get some photos. Not right now, it's closed because too much snow. Wow, there's actually some pretty good braking action there. Just testing out the brakes. No one behind me. If there's someone behind me, I don't test my brakes. I just slow down a little bit more than normal, just in case. Yeah, that would be brake checking. And yeah, when I spun the tires, turning around, that was somewhat intentional. I was going backwards and put it in first gear and kind of dumped the clutch a little bit. Very slippery. Once you get the tires spinning, they don't really have a lot of friction on them. If you do that on pavement, it's an easy way to destroy an axle in a Subaru. Thinking about cutting the video into two. Not entirely sure I'm going to be able to. My spot for said cut is now inaccessible. Guess y'all get to suffer through a long video again. Washboard in the packed snow. I think that happens when they plow. The plow truck kind of oscillates slightly, and then cars and trucks driving over it after that just exaggerate it until, let's say, well, this is a lot more pleasant than the washboard and the turd. Yes, I'm still making fun of myself from the last video. That was terrible. Driving on snow is when I had a low-speed frontal collision with another vehicle. It was the other driver's fault. They had very good insurance, and I wasn't even in my own vehicle. I was driving other people in their vehicle, and brand new car too. The other driver was not from the United States. They were here, I believe, going to school, but they had, not only did they have automotive insurance for themselves, like they pay for automotive insurance, but they also had a second set of automotive insurance. And so their primary insurance covered everything, and then their other insurance actually covered their copays. So I've never actually encountered that. Person had a visa too, so very nice person. Had 4 people in the car. It was that person's first time ever driving on snow. They were coming downhill a little bit too fast, and they lost the back end and slid. I actually was able to completely stop, and I was trying to get the vehicle in a reverse to move out of their way, but they hit before I could transmission. It's very slow. No injuries. Damage was all repaired by reputable body shop, and it took forever because they actually the vehicle was so new. They actually had to fly parts in from Japan. So yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't think I've actually been back in the... Oh, no, I have been in the park. Just not with snow on the ground or on the road. There's snow on the dirt. At least it was a pretty drive getting out here. And this has been nice and gentle on my new remanufactured axle. That was the purpose, kind of a shakedown, you know, make sure nothing makes any weird noise or vibration or anything when driving. It's all good. So this is sort of towards central southern Oregon. The Medford area is more towards the west. Still southern Oregon, obviously, you know, whatever. But we're at a higher elevation here. I mean, we're on the side of a 8,000-foot mountain. But Central Oregon tends to get more snow, a lot more snow than the Medford area, especially down in the valley. Medford is terrible for snow. It gets cold, but it doesn't snow, or it rains, but it's not cold enough for snow. And if we do get snow, it melts immediately. I think the longest I've seen snow on the ground in Medford is 48 hours before it just disappeared, melted away. If you're driving from Medford to Bend in the wintertime, especially if there's storms, excuse me, there's going to be a lot of snow on the roads, and if you're driving at night, it can be pretty exciting times, I guess, especially if it's really cold. And if you don't have good snow tires, you're really not going to enjoy the drive. If you do have really good snow tires, you could enjoy the drive. Problem comes from other drivers, people that are driving too fast or too slow, people with insufficient equipment or bad tires or whatever. They make it a nightmare. The worst part is when there's 3 feet of the snow on the side of the road, and they've plowed it, and it warmed up that day, and the snow in the road not only melted, but it either ran out of the road or evaporated. So the road's dry. There's no ice on the road. It's clear and dry, and yet someone decides that going 35, where everyone else wants to go 60, 70, or 80 miles an hour, it's a 2-lane highway. There's no passing lane except oncoming, and it's so busy that you can't. There's no openings. That is where the problems start. You got too many people that, oh, it's a long straight road that's dry and we're gonna go 90 miles an hour, and you got someone that shouldn't even be driving, either due to insufficient traction from bad equipment or tires, or they're just not capable of driving in those conditions anymore, and they aren't comfortable going more than 35, and having someone go 90 in a 55 zone is bad enough to begin with, but now coming around a curve and there being someone going 35 in front of them causes conflict. I think I figured out why I don't like Oregon drivers. They have no chill. That dude that almost forced me off the side of the road, that's an example. There was no chill there. Well, like, if I was in an unmarked OSP vehicle and that happened, I'd pull him over and give him a ticket. Unsafe lane, unsafe pass, reckless driving, whatever else I could think of that would stick in court. You know, I mean, that's... And the sad thing is that kind of driving isn't uncommon. You see it all the time. Oregon is kind of a smorgasbord of the bad driving, techniques. The bad driving habits of California and Washington combined. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good drivers and safe drivers in Oregon, but there's a fairly proportionally high number of people that don't belong behind the wheel of a vehicle that drive in Oregon. See, now it's the guessing game. Where does the 45 zone end? And I actually think I've exited it already, but there's no sign to tell you that. The moisture building up on the windshield is actually coming out of the trees, I think. It's a little bit of snow that is still in the tree branches is melted and it's kind of dripping down. Either that or it's just straight up raining. You know, if this camera didn't absolutely... No, if this camera wasn't super terrible in low light, I would come up here during a snowstorm at night and do a video of what it's like to drive at night, but even with the high beams on, this camera just doesn't pick anything up. I'd have to get floodlights, and that's just, it's not legal. Well, it's legal, just not to use them while on the road. I'm out of the 45 zone. Snow Park is well past it. And now I'm going to start getting spray kicked up by this pickup truck. Sorry guys, these windshield wipers are brand new, so it's just a design flaw with something. They don't clean very well. There's probably 50, 60 RVs here. It's not a bad place to go snowmobiling from what I've seen, but that's the most people I've ever seen in that parking lot. temperature didn't really change from Union Creek to the toll booth. It's about 36 at Union Creek, and it was about 33 at the toll booth. So the road that goes around the caldera is very steep in places. It has a 35 mile an hour speed limit around the whole thing, so it's a very relaxing and slow drive. And it's one of those roads where the speed limit's 35, but you feel like it should be 60 in places. But genuinely, that was a rock. It genuinely is a 35 zone for a reason. It's a national park, and they set the speed limit. But if you are one of those bicyclists that's like looking for a once-in-a-lifetime challenge, or something that is really gonna push your limits, drive it in your car, and then if you think you can do it, maybe give it a shot. But also keep in mind, most of the park is over 7,000 feet in elevation, so if you could do that hill at sea level, maybe not going to be able to do it at 7,000 feet. There's a couple really long, steep, very consistent grade hills on that road. I feel kind of bad that I wasn't able to get into the park to make a good video going around the caldera. It's on the list. Just have to wait for the snow to melt. Glad I did this test run with this axle. I'm hearing a sound that I don't like. I can't tell if it's the exhaust or if it's the axle or something else. I think it's a rock stuck in a tire. Well, when they put the axle in, I had to take the old one out, and to get the new one in, you actually have to unbolt the bottom of the front suspension from the control arm and then swing it out. The axle is too long to just kind of slip it in any way. Pickup truck in front of me is a diesel, and the smell of his exhaust is making me hungry. I don't know why. It's always been a thing since I was a kid. Jet and diesel pickup truck exhausts. I feel a little bump in my toes when I hear the sound, so it must be something in the suspension or tire. When I get to a safe place to pull over again, I'll do another shortcut in the video while I get out and check my tires. Make sure they all have air and there isn't a big giant like hex bolt nut sticking out of a tire or something. I knew that was coming and it still startled me. I do find that Highway 230 is quite enjoyable to drive, mostly in the summertime. And it's kind of an odd dissonance for me because I actually prefer driving out here more during the nighttime in the summer. It's quieter, it's cooler, there's fewer people out, and it's more relaxing. He's still there. Ah, what a jerk. Oh, you know what else that sound could be? And I've experienced this before. You get snow built up on the mud flaps, and when you hit bumps or you turn just right, the tire will actually rub up against that built up snow and make an odd sound. That's probably what that was. And most likely what's actually happening is I'm picking up a little bit of the grit from the road, a little rock, and that rock is being pulled up the back side of the tire. This tire rotates and it gets kind of trapped between that built up stuff and the tire, and it makes an odd sound. Seeing how busy it was up here earlier, we're getting a little slower than 45. What did I say earlier, 35? Yeah. It's almost late enough now that people are going to come here for dinner. I'm gonna check the tires anyway. I think I can go further. This is a spot I enjoy stopping at whenever I'm out here. Alright, nothing wrong with the tire, well, nothing seriously wrong with the tires. Front tires are a little low on air pressure, but they're actually within 2 psi of the placard in the door. So they're lower than I would run them, but they're not dangerously low. And the journey will continue. Still only 35 here. It'll probably dip down into the teens tonight. I mean, I guess it depends on what the weather does, because it could get overcast and it could hold some of this heat energy down on the ground level and keep it warmer. I don't know. I'm not going to be here tonight, so I guess I don't really care that much. Better not be here tonight. I'd actually laugh if they were doing speed checks through here. It's not a OSP vehicle. Some H2O. That's good water. Forgot to drink it yesterday. Actually wonder if they put, like, say 5 speed cameras up along this road after long straight sections, like around this corner here going this way and back around the other corner going the other way. What do you think the top speed would be that those cameras would pick up? And if they measured the speed of every vehicle and logged it, what percentage of people were actually speeding? And by how much? When you're driving along and you see 2 black hoses running parallel across the road, the Department of Transportation where you live is actually doing speed checks. It's a special speed sensor. It's not for giving out tickets, but it's for determining if they need to change the speed limit of the road. If a lot of people are speeding, guess what? They lower the speed limit. If the traffic control calls for people going 35 on a specific stretch of road, and the speed limit's 35, and everyone goes 45, guess what? They drop that speed from 35 down to 30. And then if you're still going 45, you get caught. Don't do that. And it doesn't work the other way. So if the speed limit's 35 and the traffic control calls for 35 miles an hour and everyone's going 25, they don't magically raise the speed limit to 40. According to a local DOT employee that I spoke to, those also are capable somehow of determining what type of vehicle it is. A motorcycle, bicycle, automotive car, light-duty pickup truck, like a heavy-duty commercial pickup truck or utility truck, semi-trucks, buses, and etc. So if you want to mess with them, get some friends and jump on those together. True story. I did that. Jumped on them a few times. Yeah, boredom makes me do weird things. So I think my next planned video will probably be Highway 230. I'm starting to exceed Southern Oregon at that point, but you know what? I don't think anyone's gonna complain. Heck, the planned exploration video I've got is in California, and that's not gonna stop me. I do actually hope, though, that maybe not the next video or the next video after that, if I have some time to do some more videos tomorrow and the next day. I do hope, though, that soon I will start having a higher quality audio experience. I'm not what I would consider an audiophile, but I do have expectations for audio quality. The camera, or the GoPro's microphones, they do not meet my quality expectations in any way, shape, or form. The microphone on my phone is close, and I'm not blaming the phone. It's more along the lines of the shortcoming in the capability of the phone mount I've got. What I'm going to be going with will be a digital standalone audio recorder, and I will be getting a lavalier mic, something similar. I'll be able to clip it on to my shirt and get audio quality from closer to my mouth, and so there will be less distortion and it will be clearer. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or not. I'll be easier to understand when I'm speaking. I have not ordered that yet. I think I'm going to order it tonight. So if I end up making 2 more videos this weekend, it won't be here by then, but anything I record after that, I should have that recording solution. And if it works right, I will start to also do map recording. I did a test and it worked, but I'm still figuring it out. I'm new to this YouTube thing, so I'm new to making YouTube videos. I've been watching them for since before Google owned YouTube. Those were good days. I think I'm also going to make a short video that kind of details my process on how I get equipment ready for when I go exploring. Is that something in the road, or is that just a reflection? Okay, that's just a reflection from some water. Oh no, it's gravel. I've been thinking about switching over into a new field, and I might take another look at what it would be required to become a forest ranger. Thanks for having your high beams on. That's wonderful. I have a bone to pick, and I'm going to air it here since I have a captive audience. I don't know what has been going on lately, but in the last 2 weeks, The number of people driving during the daytime with their high beams on has been, I don't know what's going on. I've seen 10 or 15 cars a day driving with their high beams on in the daytime. And while it doesn't sound like a bad thing, it's still distracting, and I'm a bit light sensitive, so it actually can give me a headache. So if you got that blue headlight icon on your dash, turn your high beams off. Gosh. Enough problems. I don't need to add excessive dame damage to the list. Your high beams. Pizza and beer. That sounds good right now. Except the beer part. I don't know. Beer doesn't really go well with pizza, in my opinion. I'm trying to think of what would. Maybe whiskey? Get the right whiskey? Yeah, you can see that. Maybe if you had a really, there's a pizza place in Ashland, Oregon that has pizza that it's also a brewery, so they have microbrew and beer, lagers, etc., IPAs. God, I love how I say etc. and then I keep going. It's like redundant much. Anyways, what they do is when they make their beer, they save some of the beer yeast and they put it in the dough of their pizza. So their pizza has kind of a hop taste to it. Well, not a hoppy taste, but it's got almost a kind of a beer taste to it. Personally, can't stand it, not a fan, don't like it. But if you love beer or you really like beer, you don't have a problem or whatever, you like pizza, you maybe give something like that a shot. And they serve beer too, so if you like beer and you like kind of beer tasted pizza, and those probably go well together. But personally, beer is one of the alcoholic beverages that I do not like. Never have and never will. Only thing I like less than beer is coffee. Imagine the spiffing Brit popping up in my comments going, yes, another convert to tea. I love the iced tea. I think he's endorsed iced tea on his. Yeah, whatever. Pretty ironic, but this is usually how I spend my weekends, just in the car, driving wherever I want to, exploring. Although I usually ramble a lot more, and it's usually about stuff that I don't think would go well on YouTube. I want this to be wholesome. No one really needs to know all weird stuff that goes on in my mind. Even I don't want to know that sometimes. Speaking of beer and alcoholic beverages, don't drink and drive. It's not good. My own personal rule is if I drink anything alcoholic, I'll drive for at least 10 hours afterwards. Usually not awake for at least 10 hours afterwards. Pizza now, though. Now it's starting to rain. remember if I have any rain video. It's almost snow, not even rain. I've been so disappointed with the quality from the GoPro that I've actually attempted to use the phone of my camera, and it does great for regular driving, but the windshield wipers, I don't know why they confuse the sensor in my camera so much that it's unwatchable. It's unusable footage. And the GoPro, I think, does okay. So hopefully I don't have to add the intro and post, because this is unusable. And I usually just don't use my windshield wipers when I'm driving in the rain, but that doesn't work so well with the camera, so sorry about the windshield wipers. That guy was walking out into the street for a moment. That box of candy like a month ago, and I've just been slowly eating it. 1 or 2 pieces a day. Then when we have sweets at home, like cake or something for dessert, I don't have candy during the day because it's just too much. This camera is so bad. I hope this footage is usable. In fact, I probably should start searching around for a low light camera that's suitable for use at night. I really would like to make some nighttime videos. If the camera's better during the day than the GoPro, then that would be even more of a bonus. I'm sure I'll find something, but it'll be like $3,000 or a ridiculous amount of money like that. Curious about the tune on the Baja. I might do a video kind of going over it. It's not special, it just, I turned up the boost. It's a 2.5 liter motor with a tiny turbo on it and a terrible exhaust. been OSP and OHP out here before doing speed checks. I've seen them pulling people over. I believe we're still in Forest Service jurisdiction too, so if you're flying down this road and a forest ranger pulls you over, you can still get a ticket. I might be wrong about that though. I am not part of law enforcement, so don't take anything I give as legal advice. Oh, looks like we're about to hit even more rain here. He's going up to that snow park. Oh, maybe not. At an RV, not snowmobiles. I'm curious how the audio quality will be from this. I'll have to see what I need to do to get access to RTX voice. That's the best part about having an external audio source here is I can modify it externally. Well, I can process it before I add it into the video stream. So heavy wind. This is usually what I do for driving, but it doesn't work so well with the video. dogma. Longer, it would have started snowing up there probably by now. Maybe I'll do a Highway 140 drive tomorrow. I haven't done 140 yet. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Again to see if I can get up to the lake viewpoint next weekend. Here's the Tiller Canyonville Highway. I don't think it's up. I did a drive down that one. I'm gonna have to redo it. And maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. I don't know. Sometimes I just get in the vehicle and drive and hit record whenever. Coming back back into Shady Cove, so I've gone full square or circle or, well, squiggly line one direction and back the other way. If you actually were crazy enough to stick around for the whole video, I don't know how long it ended up being, but thank you for watching. And hopefully stick around for more of my videos in the future. Have a good 2021. Hopefully this part will be cut by now. I just want to make sure I have an end point, synchronization point. I'm just looking for a place to pull over.